Yeah.
Yeah, but they were very informative, but they were like everything else. I won't have an answer. We'll be able to give you direct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all I was looking for.
Because they're scared of being wrong.
What's that?
I guess it's because they're scared of being wrong.
I don't know. I mean, wouldn't they be the ones that would direct you to the right answer,
I
though?
don't know. Try to ask a politician a question.
I
Just dance
I
around.
know, I know.
Yeah, it's not close to it, you know?
Okay, we'll get started. We have some listed correspondence, several actually this evening, from Town of Lancaster Building Department, providing a report of building permit applications, open complaints and inspections from March 18th to April 1st. We have correspondence from New York State Homes and Community Renewals Pro Housing Community Program Team, providing notice that the village's 2025 Technical Assistance to Grow application was not awarded for funding through the Pro Housing Communities Program. Correspondence from Roman and Maria Hausick, owners of 25 Brady Avenue, requesting to purchase land owned by the village adjacent to their property for the purpose of building a driveway. John, I think you pointed out that actually belonged to the school district.
School district, right.
So we'll need to notify them.
We should notify them,
Yeah.
yeah, we can.
Mike, can we notify them that we don't own that property?
Yeah, well, some notification, if we haven't already, we'll make sure the notification is there.
Okay, correspondence from the Lancaster Youth Bureau providing a special events application for a community color run event to be held on June 6, 2026, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on streets within the village. Correspondence from Thomas Snyder of Cushmart providing a special events application for its spring open house and customer appreciation event to be held on April 20th, 2026, from 3 to 8 p.m. at its location at 5211 Broadway.
So question on that one, it's all on private property.
Same thing, I had a question, if it's on private property and they're not asking for any kind of services from the DPW, is it considered similar to like the SantaCon thing where they notify us, but there's no approval then? It's on their
That's what I think.
property?
Thank them for notifying us, but we don't need to approve it.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and definitely. Excuse me, correspondence from Lancaster Fire Department Protective Hose Company providing a special events application for its drive-through chicken barbecue to be held on May 3rd, 2026, from 12 noon to 6 p.m. at the Lancaster Municipal Building parking lot. I don't think there'll be a problem with that. Correspondence from the Lancaster Fire Department providing a special events application for its annual ceremonial inspection to be held on May 17, 2026, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., beginning at Fireman's Park. Correspondence from Julie Curtis, Lancaster Beautification Committee, providing a special events application for its gala in the Village Gardens event to be held on August 28, 2026, from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 10 West Main Street. Correspondence from Thomas Zielinski, Gone Tiki LLC, providing notification of renewal of an adult use retail dispensary license application for its business, High Tide, located at 1829 Como Park Boulevard. Correspondence from DPW Superintendent Cisco requesting approval to send 4 employees to the 2026 Electrical Hazard Awareness Training Workshop on May 7th, 2026 in Rochester, New York. And correspondence from Francis Stern, New York State Historic Preservation Office, providing a summary of findings from a performance evaluation of the Village of Lancaster Certified Local Government Program as required every 4 years, and indicating that all standards are being met and there are no major deficiency noted at this time. Okay, we'll go on to resolutions. We have 6 listed this evening. First resolution is authorizing myself as mayor to sign and approve an intermunicipal cooperation agreement with the town of Lancaster to allow the installation of a flock drone and housing for protection of the public upon the roof of the municipal building, with terms as presented in the agreement. Comments, questions?
So I think they, Flock sent along this license agreement document because I spoke with them on Thursday, and one of the things I brought up, one of the concerns I had was the fact that the village is essentially acting as landlord for property that we don't own, this drone. If the drone were to blow off the building and injure somebody or hit property and do damage, or if in its use it were to, cause damage, would the village be held liable for it, seeing how, we're stationing it here? And I just wondered about if they had any language in regards to that, in regards to protecting the village from being sued if that were to happen, or if someone were to bring a lawsuit for invasion of privacy or, some sort of suit to protect the village in those circumstances. In response to that, they provided this document, which I guess they drafted for a similar agreement with a school in Pennsylvania, I think they said, Gary, Pennsylvania. Whereas the school itself didn't have a contract with Flock, they were just housing the drone. So I thought they were gonna send it to me last week, but didn't get it till just right now. So I haven't had a chance to read through it yet. I don't know, Art, if you had a chance to look at this agreement with Flock at all?
Sure. The mayor asked me to look at this some time ago. And what I did was went through it, and where I thought it needed to be revised, at various points I put in there that the agreement is subject to particular schedules. You'll find comments on that as you go through the agreement at paragraph 2B, paragraph 7A, paragraph 8, and then where I reference the schedule, I drafted the schedule. For example, in response to, your point is well taken, that the doggone thing could blow into somebody, or even worse, maybe one of their workmen fall off a roof or something like that. So there's all sorts of issues that could arise. And in response to that, where you look at Schedule 7, if you're looking at the version that I'm looking at, everything that they had regarding indemnification has been stricken. And in lieu of that, I included all our language as to Schedule 7, Schedule 7A, and then it's quite extensive. To the fullest extent permitted by law, Flock shall defend, indemnify, hold harmless the licensor, that's the village, its officers and employees from and against all claims, damages, liabilities, losses, and expenses, including but not limited to attorney fees arising out of or in any way connected with the performance or lack of performance of this agreement, provided that any such claim, damage, liability, loss, or expense is 1, attributable to bodily injury, sickness, disease, or death, or physical injury to tangible property, if someone's motor vehicle was damaged or something to that effect. And 2, is caused whole and in part by any actual or alleged act or omission of Flock or anyone directly or indirectly retained or engaged by it, or anyone for whose acts it may be liable. And then, or a violation of any statutory duty, regulation, ordinance, rule, or obligation by Flock, provided that the violation arises out of or is in any way connected with Flock's performance or lack of performance of the agreement. So why is that language so restrictive in terms of their exposure? New York State will not recognize an agreement saying, if anything goes wrong, if we're sued for whatever reason, you're responsible. Those agreements have been thrown out. So we have to be quite clear as to what is covered, but we're, not only are we clear as to what's covered, but it's quite extensive in that context.
Yep.
Okay? And then, at paragraph 8, we include language at Schedule 8 that basically says that Flock shall get a liability insurance in the amount of $1 million, and the village shall be included as an additional insured, and Flock shall provide to the village not only a certificate of insurance, but also the actual endorsement that says that the village is covered. So, however the village board wishes to deal with this agreement, in response to your question, I think that something Flock doing wrong, I don't think that's presented to us, but in the event Flock is in any way culpable, whether by law or by statute or just by what we call negligence, tortious conduct, They're obligated, and let's suppose the village gets brought in as the property owner or the lessor. Now the village is being sued. We turn over these papers to Flock's attorney, say, look at this agreement, you are going to defend and indemnify us. And if you don't, we'll hire an attorney, we'll go after you for all of these expenses. And to that extent, the village would also be identified as an additional insured on Flock's policy. Now, you may have questions with $1 million, and say, well, $1 million doesn't go very far nowadays. I suppose we could jack that up if you're concerned about that. But that's my response to your question.
And I had not
And I
seen-
don't know what
yeah.
versions you're looking at.
I have that on here. I had never seen this document until I sat down today. Like, this was never provided, at least not to me. I don't know. if-
This just came in this afternoon.
Okay, well, because I had already
Like,
written up the schedule, so.
So this,
Okay.
first, anybody saw it was this afternoon. And I immediately sent it to Art for his revision, and
Okay.
he redlined it, but it was probably 2 o'clock.
Right, right, yeah.
Did you see the red line with the markings in red, changes in red? Did you see this?
It's black and white.
No, Mike printed the clean copy.
Okay.
Right, so, again, I think because of the fact the board's gonna have to digest some of this, and, you know, if they have questions or concerns, I believe that we could talk to the Flock people if we wanted to do that.
We're trying to get a hold of them right now. We're having some issues connecting with them.
And we don't know that there are second-year changes
Correct.
yet. There's no sense of proving something that,
Yeah, I don't think we have enough information, and I don't think we can do this tonight. I think it would be, everybody would be more comfortable if we had a little bit more information on this and the agreements were in place. So, we can table this motion until our next meeting. And we'll move on to resolution to acknowledge the receipt of the annual notice of the use and occupancy permit related to the access road to the industrial park at the intersection of Central Avenue, Commerce Parkway, both sides of Central Avenue, and to further confirm the terms and conditions of the use and occupancy permit as indicated. Next resolution would be to approve the plant order from Mitchell's Greenhouse in the amount of $1,437.10 for the Village Gardens per the request of recommendation of the Lancaster Beautification Committee. Again, these people are all volunteers, and it's nice to see the village support them and give them the things they need to do. And, you know, being that there's no labor charge, that makes it pretty nice, and my hats are off to all those people. It's a lot of work. Resolution to approve a negative declaration pursuant to seeker for the Lancaster Pocket Park project, stating that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts, with such assessment and determination completed by LaBelle Associates as the lead consultant for this project. Next resolution would be to approve a contract modification request for LaBelle Associates in the amount of $3,706.71 for Lancaster Pocket Park project for additional expenses relating to lighting, design work, and seeker review documentation. 6, the resolution authorizing myself as mayor to sign and execute a federal aid local project agreement with the New York State DOT for a total of $240,000, 80% federal share, 20% local share for project ID number PIN 5766.06 for culvert replacement, Central Avenue over Palm Creek, Phase 2 in the Village of Lancaster. That's all we have for resolutions this evening. We'll do committee reports, finance and claims.
I have nothing.
No report tonight. Public Works.
nothing for now.
Okay, public safety. The only thing I would want to mention in public safety, last Saturday evening or Sunday morning, depending on how you want to look at it, there was a vehicle parked on the Central Avenue side of Fatty's at the corner of West Main Street. And that vehicle was hit by a hit-and-run driver with extensive damage. And so I contacted the chief of police because I was rather curious. We had some Flock cameras installed downtown. And I asked the chief, and the chief said that he could say for certain that the Flock cameras were instrumental in apprehending a suspect and issuing a variety of summonses. I asked him what he felt the chances are of apprehending someone had those cameras not been available. He said, well, slim and none. So we might have been able to get it, but no witnesses. And so it's just, we're in that age and that technology. There's one very positive point of that technology, and I wanted to point that out this evening. Building lights and codes.
Mayor, for public safety, I just wanted, somebody reached out to me, actually two different residents reached out to me about tractor trailers on like the residential streets in the village. One resident said there was a tractor trailer going up Holland, which I said they had to be lost because no tractor trailer would by choice go up Holland. Another one was a resident who lives on Court Street complaining about, he counted this past Friday, 13 tractor trailers between 8 and 4 went up and down Court Street. And we have the signage there that says it's for local trucks only. He felt they were going past the knife factory and further up towards Erie. Do we have any like way to enforce the, like, our signage, I guess, our signs saying that these trucks are prohibited on these streets? Like,
Cap?
It's a police thing.
Yeah, I mean, we have a commercial enforcement unit. If there's areas in the village that you think need attention and need officers to sit down, we definitely
Yeah,
look at that.
like, obviously, when you live on a street, you notice every car that goes by, but he took count, because he'd reached out to me like over a week ago about it, and I said I'll bring it up at the next meeting, but then he happened to be home and decided to sit on his porch and start counting. And so 13 over the course of, from 8 to 4 on a Friday.
That's not ordinary as far as going to the knife factory right now. I know.
He said they kept on going towards Erie. Yeah,
We can take a look at that.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's not the first time I've heard that complaint. I
Yeah.
know who probably complained, so I understand, but again, we posted it, and the police enforce it when
Right.
they're there, so.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cap. I'm sorry, John, building lights and codes, nothing, right?
No, nothing for now.
Okay, human resources?
Human resources, one thing that I'd like to mention this evening was actually brought up under the village employees, under the safety committee. Along with recently doing the CPR class for the village DPW employees, they also have the ability to use an AED as they have with them. There's one in the superintendent's vehicle, one in the bucket truck,
And one on the wall,
and one on the wall. There's one here,
and one at the north.
North End Fire Hall. There's a few of them. But there's two of them where the batteries are going to be out of date shortly.
Right.
They're coming up shortly here. Looking into new units, 2 new units. We did, the employees, the safety committee was able to get prices for the 2 totaling on state bid for $2,850. Minus a $500 trade-in rebate. So again, a total for 2 new units at $2,850. I'd like to make that resolution this evening. And then there would be 5 AED supply kits, basically, that go with the 5 units we have for a total of $79.75. So I'd like to make those 2 motions this evening.
Totally agree.
Other than that, that's all I have for human resources.
Okay, and community events?
Community events, nothing other than we're working on the car show coming up on June 14th, and Independence Days, July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. But more details to come.
Okay, very good. Anything for Tammy? Not economic development. Again, I've had a second request for someone to purchase the property at St. Mary's Street and North Aurora. I sent out an email earlier today. I'm not sure what the process is, if we even want to sell it. I don't know how much I want. Tom Schuster was interested in a small portion of it, and I don't know if that ever went through. I don't think I was back on the board, so I'll call him and ask and see if that was, he was actually first.
Whoever's looking to buy it now may have bought that house because he's got it for sale.
Very possible, yeah. So, but I did receive actually 2 phone calls from this person. They're very interested. They want to put a garage on it, though. And I suggested that they contact Matt to see if that's even permissible, given the corner and where it is and so forth. I wouldn't want to give somebody advice like that, so you may be getting a call from someone.
I believe I spoke with the individual, and I direct them to communicate with this board to identify a process of turning over village-owned property to a resident. If it is in fact the person that purchased the house next door, it'd be preferential to merge the 2 lots together. But keep in mind, that tax parcel also has a small portion on the southwest of the turnaround as a part of that tax parcel. So it's not just buying that corner piece, there's another triangle, a lot smaller on the southwest corner.
We were going to, the last time that the owner was interested in buying, it was only about 20 feet maybe or less. Small section, not the entire corner.
Yeah, it was probably Tom
Also the entire
Schuster.
corner, yeah.
So, well, we'll continue to look into that. Sewer, Chairman Mickley?
We've had recently, it's happened several times, a discharge of red dye into the water, into Cayuga Creek. And it's happening right behind the water tower. It's, first time it's happened since I was on the board was last year. And it happened on a Friday night, and I called Wayne, who called the DEC, and DEC was informed. They came here, spill number was assigned. It's happened again a few times recently, as recent as today. So when it happened last year, quick detective work was red water's coming out of the west side of the, coming out of the culvert. There's, if everyone knows, there's a culvert that runs from Salmon Creek, Plum Bottom Creek, coming, it's Plum Bottom Creek that is a culvert that goes underneath Central Avenue, underneath the parking lot over there, and comes out behind the water tower. The water going into the culvert was clear, the water coming out was red. It's coming out of a, there is a storm sewer that feeds into that culvert, so, and goes up north. It's been currently being investigated. The DPW is investigating it, brought in Watts as well as a consultant. There was one potential source that we thought it may have been coming from. The potential source has been very, very cooperative. The guys were smoking today. In fact, I was asked if we could, for approval to purchase, it was probably about $1,500 worth of smoke from the county. However that works exactly, I'm not sure, but you'll see that when you sign the vouchers. It's being investigated, and not sure exactly where it's coming from, but I'm not sure if others, if the public has noticed it, but if they do, it's just so everyone knows it's something that we're looking into and figuring out.
And if you're doing it, stop.
If anyone's doing it, stop, yeah, that'd be nice. But we need to figure out more so. And during the time of doing this, we're realizing that there are certain, we have a GIS system of sewers. We know that the system's not 100% complete. And ideally, we would look at our GIS and be able to follow it and say, well, it goes to Trustee O'Brien's house, or wherever it was. And in this case, we can't do it. So in this case, it's something that predates the GIS. So we're working on that.
Do we know what the substance is? Is this hazardous, or?
Don't think so. I mean, I don't know the DEC, that's,
DC checked last year's, and they didn't have anything came up with what they checked on, but it's just more or less turning it red. And they usually, when the DEC checks, they check to see if any fish life or anything died. And so far, just one or two, but that's kind of normal in that situation, but nothing abnormal about it. It's just the color as of right now, so.
Okay, so we'll keep on it, and
Yeah,
hopefully we'll
hopefully we'll have more
find the source. All
Yep.
right, very good. Grants, Chairman O'Brien?
I have a few things. Like Wayne, you and I spoke about the Cayuga Creek Park, and Mayor, I sent you the email from Amy about purchasing some design and plants for like the gardens there. I'm going to tell Amy to go ahead and draft like a resolution for that for next meeting to move forward with that. She thinks she can get grant money from Cornell Cooperative Extension to help pay for some of it, so that's, should be a good opportunity to kind of beautify that park a little bit, working along with beautification, The Plum Bottom Creek Culvert Project, as we were just discussing, the repairs of the culvert are still ongoing. We have a progress meeting on Wednesday. Last week, a sinkhole opened up next to Scoob's in the parking lot back there. Luckily, no vehicles were caught in it, nobody, there was no injuries. It just kind of just opened itself up. It's one that Wayne and the DPW had filled in 2018, I think is what you said?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and put 10 yards of concrete in there.
Yes.
And it was all gone. It was all gone. CNS, the engineers on the culvert project, came out, they brought the construction company in, they determined it wasn't caused by any of their work, it was natural erosion, water seeping into the cracks in the asphalt and just digging it out. So they filled it back up, which is a temporary solution. that will, once we do phase 2 of the culvert, because this was outside of what they were working on now. Once we do phase 2, it shouldn't happen again. I confirm, like, once we fix this and finish the project, is that gonna be done for good? And he's like, yeah, it'll stop happening. But, if you see anything strange, like, holes in the ground along the parking lot or whatever, please let us know. But they're down there, they're aware that it happens, and they're keeping tabs on it.
So where does the fill go? Is it going into the culvert
Yeah.
or under it? And then,
Yeah, as far as I know, it goes into the culvert,
so does that mean there's a hole in the culvert?
which they've also fixed, yeah, yeah. Mike, did you have a chance to read that email from Logan this afternoon?
No, but I
Okay.
talked to him
Yeah.
before that.
So we're getting towards the end of that project. There will be additional expenses due to the amount of extra work identifying some of these issues that weren't present initially, and also extra grout that was needed to completely grout around the culvert. I'm not sure how that process works, but so more to come on that, but there's going to be additional expense. I think he estimated around $60,000 additional on this project, but once they're in there doing the work, they realize that there's more to be done, and they want to make sure this is as safe and stable as possible while we wait for phase 2 of that project, which is coming down the road a bit. For the EV charging station, the level 3 charger down in Cave Creek Park, we're still pending review of the charger shop drawings by Mr. Shutt's office. Once we get that approval, we can continue moving forward with that project. Did the trees arrive today?
They were there this morning.
Yeah, so USDA Forest Service tree planting grant and the DEC tree planting grant, the trees arrived at DPW today. They'll be out planting those trees this week. If you noticed on your front lawn a little white flag with a circle around it or an X, you're getting a tree. You would have gotten a door hanger and a letter as well, so it shouldn't be too much of a surprise, but this kind of makes it a solidified deal. So that'll be happening this week, and we'll continue our great progress reforesting the village and planting trees for our future generations to enjoy. The Pocket Park project went out for bid last month, and bids will be received until Wednesday, the 22nd, and we'll open those up and continue that project moving along. For the Central Avenue Streetscape grant project, we had, the design team actually presented in front of the LVMA last week. They had made multiple changes to the project based on all the feedback we've been getting, which is definitely appreciated. And I think overall at that meeting, the designs updates were received pretty well. Bill, would you say? I think they
I
seem.
would say so.
Yeah. This is still a process. We're going to look to have at least one more stakeholder meeting. We're going to try to define what that looks like, who's going to be invited to that, but we'll make sure that the neighboring property owners and businesses are all at that meeting, so they can kind of finally weigh in on the final draft of the design before moving forward on that. But some more to come on that once we get that, that scheduled and what that will look like, but the process is moving along. For the mini split 2, 3, and 6 investigations, Trustee Mike Lee and I met last week to kind of talk about the RFQ responses that we received. So we're still working on that process, finalizing. I saw we got an email from Mike today with kind of next steps for that, so we can work through that and get that moving along. And that is all I have for grants.
Okay. Anything for Chairman O'Brien? Trustee Miller? Tech and Marketing?
No report.
Okay, and Climate Sort, Trustee O'Brien.
Yep, so Amy's working with Wayne to finalize the window project at North End Fire Hall. So once you take a look at those estimates and provide a recommendation to Amy, we can get a resolution on the agenda to finish up that project. I appreciate all the Forest Advisory Board members that went out and helped out notifying residents of the trees by hanging door hangers. I know Jen, she's here today, I was out there. Mike Spencer was out there, so appreciate that volunteer work and opportunities to engage with some residents and spread the word about our tree plantings. One of the great traditions we have in this village is an annual Veterans Park tree planting. It is this year on the 24th, which is a Friday, at 9 a.m. We'll be at Veterans Park planting a tree in honor of a local veteran. I don't know the name of the veteran that we're honoring this year.
No, I haven't heard as.
Maybe they haven't selected yet, but that's coming up soon. So if you can make it out to that, everyone's invited. It's a public meeting. It's been rainy, I think, the last couple of years, but that's okay. And it's just a nice program that we do to honor a local vet. And finally, Amy's working with Sun King. We talked about this a little bit, about hosting a electronic recycling drive-through event. It won't be until next year, but talks are going well, and she's pretty much certain it's gonna happen. We talked about maybe working with Manitoba or some other areas to facilitate that project, or that program. But nice thing is it'll be free for the village too, so we won't be any expense to us. Sun King just rolls up and they take the items and they recycle them and get them out of people's basements and garages and attics and whatnot. That's it for climate.
Okay. And that is it for,
If we can go back for a minute
Sure.
too. Mike, there was an application that I had submitted, I forgot, from Fatty's. How do we move forward with that if we don't have a date yet? For a Sabres Watch Party, Fatty's did submit an application similar to a Bills Watch Party, similar layout, similar event, but because we're not at the end of the season, playoffs would probably start before our next meeting. Can we approve it
I mean,
pending?
that would be pursuant, that
A
section of the
date.
code, I don't know if
How do
Art or
we?
someone would have comment on that, on if it could be done on condition, if it's within, obviously if they're asking to close the street, if,
Correct.
unbudgeted expense. for
So our Fatty Beer is looking to hold a special event to close down West Main Street, similar to what they've done with Bill's Watch Parties last year. The only problem is they're anticipating the playoff game that they want to hold this for would be before our next village board meeting. The end of the season isn't here yet, so we don't know the exact date of the playoff game that they want to do. They did submit an application for it. Can we approve the application pending a date? They would probably find out by the end of this week when they're looking at doing it.
Yes, you could do that.
Can we do, okay.
Well, hopefully. There's only one of the two parties, right?
Correct, right now, that's all that they're looking at
And
doing.
just say a single event
Okay,
to be determined.
okay. That's all, I'm sorry, that's all I have.
If all the other, if the village is good closing the street and not concerned about traffic control, all those other issues, regardless of the date, would come into play.
Correct.
And if the village is comfortable closing the street, and then the date really is, one date is like the next, it really doesn't matter.
Okay,
We have to make sure we're notifying merchants, because we kind of committed to doing that when we close the street down.
okay, that's all I had.
okay.
Did Flock ever dial in, or?
No, I don't think we're gonna be able to get a hold of them. There was a mix-up with time zones.
Interesting.
That would do it.
Do we, I just wanted to, may I?
Sure,
Gavin brought up the issue of trucks going up and down village streets. I just wanted to, maybe it's unnecessary, but I'll alert everyone, we do have a truck route system, and it's referenced at section 325-14 of the code. And it specifically states that trucks in excess of 5 tons are limited to the truck route system, which is spelled out at 325-60. Those are the specific streets that are identified. It also says, however, that you can't preclude someone from a delivery, so that if a vehicle is on a street upon which a delivery must be made, then an exception arises.
Right.
So if it's informative, we can look at 325-14 and then 325-60. And then if somebody wants to adjust the route, well, then we can look at that too.
Well, I think, yeah, like, based on the conversation I had, like, he's fine with the truck routes as long as they're being used. And he felt that it wasn't for local deliveries. Like, there was no delivery being made on the street. They could have gone around on a non-village.
What these, when you get some of these Amazon vehicles, I don't know what their weight is, are they?
Oh, see, yeah, well, and these weren't Amazon, these were tractor trailers. These were,
Right,
yeah,
okay.
like full-size trucks. Yeah.
Captain,
It should be
I'm sorry,
enforced.
or Lieutenant, are they saying they can do it later at 7:30, or are we?
That's what we're gonna check right now, if you guys are open to during the actual meeting itself, or you wanna.
I'm seeing right now if I can get back on my end, and I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Is there a reason we couldn't do it during the regular meeting?
And we just have the public hearing at 7:15, that's it. Right, is it 15 or is it?
Time is like, almost to the regular meeting, 5 minutes.
I'll reset for the regular meeting.
Okay.